Welcome back to Say Anything. My name is Meryl, and we have huge news today, giant news today. The website where you can book appointments with me is officially open. It's officially live. It's officially happening, you guys. So if you resonate with me, if you agree with my vibe with my worldview, there's officially a place for us to connect, and I'm very excited about that. So for right now, I just offer one thing and one thing only. It's an hour long, and I call it an unstuck sesh. So it's one session where we spend an hour together, and through basically any means necessary, whether it's looking at natal charts, using tarot cards, just an intuitive counseling reading, or any type of exchange like that. Sometimes people come in, sometimes it's a whole thing, but basically it's to get you unstuck from where you are. I'm not doing anything, no healer's ever doing anything that you can't do for yourself, ever, 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 ever. But when we're in those spaces, when we're in the fetal position on the floor, or having a really hard day, or stuck in this pattern that we don't know how to, like our face is pressed too far up to the glass that we cannot lift ourselves out of it, it's super helpful to have that one person come in and kind of be the third party observer with maybe a little extra knowledge, a little extra practice, who's heard a little more stories about that same type of thing, and help pull you out of it, refocus, understand how where you are is part of your whole experience and where you go from here, if that makes sense. So whether it's we decide on literal shifts that you're going to make, whether it just shifts your worldview, whether things come in that you either didn't know, didn't realize, didn't understand while we're talking, all of that type of stuff moves you from that position of being afraid, upset, scared, feeling alone, and understanding your place as part of a bigger thing in the universe. Because that's what to me is most important. It empower you to make the steps that you need to make, or you want to make, or you've been like getting those nudges to make but still feel really weird about, but need that sense of like confidence or push, or someone going, no, that's how this feels like this, or need to work on this, or maybe we look at past life things. So it's all wrapped up in this neat little bow. We call it an unstuck sesh, and you can book one using the link below. So hopefully I will be hearing from some of you, because I have done this for lots and lots of people, but not like out over the internet yet. So I'm very excited about it. And if you have any trouble with the link at all, I tested it and had some people test it. It should be fine. But just in case, just let me know in the comments and we will handle it. We will manage that mischief. We'll figure it out. Now, I read something else besides that big, huge announcement, which is so exciting. But I read something else that spurred on what I really want to share today. And it's perfect because it actually is totally in keeping with the spirit of like the unstuck sesh and how I want people to feel and how I think we can feel as sensitive people, empaths, or anybody embarking on any sort of like who looks at life as like a journey. I feel like you don't even have to be that sensitive to look at your life as like a journey, like the hero's journey, the Joseph Campbell journey. And it's something that I saved. I don't know if any of you do this, but I almost feel like my past self saves things for my future self sometimes. Like I've stumbled upon, like this was on like this weird secret Pinterest board that I didn't remember making. Or sometimes I'll find like these files in my computer and I'm like, oh my God, this is like perfect for right now. And I do not remember doing it at all. And my sister jokes about it because one time I found this book of something that I had given her. I'd like compiled all these things and had mailed it to her while she was away at college. And like in this package is a whole thing. And I just had, for whatever reason, and I have like a great memory, like that creepy type of memory. Like I could tell you who sat like right behind me in like fourth grade or something crazy, and like what their mom's name was. So it's always like so weird. It's almost like such a flash of inspiration that I forget it even happened because I had no recollection of this thing. And I opened it, she had saved it, and I opened it. We were moving. I opened it and was like looking through it, and I was like, oh my God. And it was years old at that point. I was like, some of this stuff is like getting me like right here. Like, she's like, honestly, you probably just, I knew I was just storing it for future you. Who even knows? So this was something I found that I'd saved on Pinterest by somebody named Shannon Alder, who I think has her own like blog and website and all of that if you feel like looking her up. But it says, empaths did not come into this world to be victims. We came to be warriors. And I feel like that's what, to me, it feels like this big 2019 shift and all of the astrology shifts and everything has been gearing up to. This is what's happening. And it's something that I firmly believe. I always believe that that's more of a strength than a weakness. But like any other strength, you have to know how to use it. You have to figure out how to use it. Like, if you've seen that cartoon movie Hercules, where he's hella strong, but he's like the awkward teenage kind of strong, where he just keeps like breaking stuff and hurting stuff, and that doesn't feel like much of a superpower. And I think that what a lot of us have been going through has been sort of the discovery of our own power, but because it's insensitivity and because we are socially conditioned to consider sensitivity to be a weakness, or empathy to basically be a weakness, and especially with all of the stuff that's out there that I still think is important and valid and should be read and everything, but everything about narcissism and like preying on empaths and energetic vampires and all of this stuff that sort of paints empaths and sensitives in this weak light, in this light of people that, oh, well, they cry at things, or they can't handle things, or they can't deal with things. And I just don't buy that shit. I'm not feeling that. I'm not picking up what they're putting down. I think that there's a learning curve like with anything else. I think that in learning how to see, no, not even learning how to see it, understanding it for what it is, understanding your sensitivity for what it actually is, there's a learning curve to it. Like, you have to discover it before you can learn how to use it appropriately and properly. And a lot of us the last few years have been beaten. I would say since like 2012 have just been beaten down to the point where you're like, oh my gosh. And even just the bifurcation of everything that's going on, like socially or politically or everything, things just seem so, like the divide between gentle and harsh just even seems so much more. And for a lot of us, it seems like more than we can take sometimes, but it's all part of discovering our sensitivity and understanding what it means. And I believe that an empath is much more of a warrior than a sensitive. Not a worrier, a warrior. It's super, super different. And it's an important distinction. And it's up to anybody. I mean, anybody's allowed to step in any amount of power whenever they want to. And so you can either say, I'm just too sensitive for that, I can't deal with that. Or you can start to be that warrior of the light and warrior of good things and true things and pure things and things that feel like they're in alignment with you. And it's a choice. But part of being a warrior is pushing through that stuff that sucks. That stuff that sucks so much. And in the spirit of Game of Thrones being back on, I'm assuming a lot of you that are drawn to me have seen it, just because I just assume that. That's just an assumption, because dragons mostly, but also if you remember that part, and there's so many visceral moments to all throughout that show, but if you remember when Arya is first learning, she goes to the Hall of a Thousand Faces or what have you, and she's first starting to learn, and then they take away her eyesight, remember? And we're all like, ooh. But they first take away her eyesight, which is basically what happens to all of us. We're learning not to see like this, but to see like this and to see like this. And it's very different. When you're not taking things at face value, you're seeing if they vibe with you energetically. It's a very different situation. And so you're not judging things and judging things the way that we're taught to. You're feeling things. It's very different. So it's a lot like getting your eyes taken away. Don't you remember what happens the first time she goes to spar with my girl with the little page boy and the pissed off always expression? Arya gets her ass kicked. I'm talking, like, find the clip, go watch it, because it's brutal. Like, even just the first couple blows, even the ones that we can only hear, like, girl gets her ass handed to her. And that painful kind where she doesn't even see it coming. And for a lot of us, that's just what happened. That's what happened at first. That's how we woke up, because we're human beings. We're comfortable. We don't move if we're comfortable, period. We don't. It takes a very special kind of divinely inspired person to push forward, to move, to grow. When they're good and they're comfortable, they're fine. And you're learning about like early stories of migration and stuff. People move because they run out of food or because someone chases them out, period. That's just what we do. That's just how our 3D being is constructed. But we're not just 3D beings anymore, which is super exciting, but just like everything else comes with that learning curve. And so we went through that chunk of time, those tower moments, those just cringy, painful experiences that shaped us into who we are right now. But it came with a learning curve. None of us are going to be as bad at that anymore, period. As bad at pursuing something that's not in alignment with us. As bad at picking something out, maybe picking out like a partner based on like how they look on paper. We don't do that stuff anymore. We just don't. And if we do, we don't do that in the same way. I can't for the life of me think of it, but maybe I'll link it below. But there is, I think it's a song lyric. Oh no. I think, sorry, my computer goes dark and sometimes stops recording. I was like, huh. I think it's a song lyric where it's like, I'll fall down again, but next time I won't stay there as long or something like that. Like, I'm not saying I'm never going to fall again, but next time I'm not going to hang out down there for as long as I did before. And I think that's what a lot of us are doing and have learned to do and have built this resilience, this emotional resilience to understanding the breadth and the width of life, period. And that we want to experience all these different things and that we came here to do things that feel like they're in alignment with us. And we're learning it and we're adjusting to it, but now we get to use it as a tool and a strength. Because getting used to something and becoming this like fierce warrior are still very different. They're still like a pretty far ways apart. But we're in the part now where we're honing these and they're becoming skills. It's not something you get used to. It's not like that when you first started waking up and you walk into like an elevator or a coffee shop and something like just attacks your energy and you're like, like someone's energy is just so not. We've developed all these different ways that aren't coping skills, that are just expanding our awareness in how we move through the world and forming how we move through the world. And I think this is important, and that's what we're trying to do, is scooch further along that so we feel like a warrior, so we feel like we're attacking the day instead of just reacting to it, so that we feel like we are walking first into situations that meet our needs and are in alignment with us instead of just letting things happen to us. And that's not to say that sometimes we're not in receiving mode, but being in receiving mode means you still have to participate. Being in receiving mode means you still go out and create that forward motion that brings you things that are in alignment with you, that brings things your direction. So that's what we're doing. And if you don't feel like that, a lot of us don't feel like that a lot of the time. And all we're trying to do is increase the moments where we feel like that instead of like we feel like things are happening to us or we're too sensitive to be incarnated on this earth. Because all of us are familiar with that feeling when we're like, this is too much, this is too hard, this is too yucky, I hate it. Like things here move too slowly, all of this stuff is too much. I'm just going to retreat up into where everything feels fine. But that's not what we're here to do. And that's definitely not what we're here to do during this period of time, during these years that we're incarnated on earth, because big shit is happening. Big, big, big. The way everything's going on is happening. It's changing. It's happening. It's happening because of us and with us and through us, around us, all of it. And so it's time to be a part of it. I'm excited about that. I hope you're excited about that. And I hope you're excited mostly about, this is the last thing I want to talk about, chasing that feeling. The feeling that you are chasing, for anybody that's not sure what I'm talking about, when you're chasing like, I just need to be happier, I need to have more money, I need to be in love, I need a different partner, I need a better job, I need a promotion, I need a bigger house, I need my family to all get along, I need to be able to run my mile faster, I need to be able to lose 30 pounds, like that feeling that you're chasing. And all of those are fine goals, valid goals, and they are going to give you a feeling of satisfaction. I'm not discounting any of them. But that feeling that you actually want, that feeling that you're actually chasing, is the feeling of being in alignment, where everything feels right and you feel good, and whatever is going on, it doesn't even have to feel right actually, because I sort of believe that alignment is like when you're right there with your soul's plan and everything. And I have been in situations that were not the best thing ever, but I felt that like peaceful feeling of like, okay, we're good, like in alignment. That's what you're chasing, that feeling of alignment. You are capable of shifting in and out of alignment a bajillion times a day if you want to. And you're capable of staying in alignment. It doesn't have to be a fleeting feeling like all of those different things that we're talking about. Like that yearning feeling that you get when you just want someone to call you back, or you just want someone to answer you, you actually, if you step all the way outside of it and look at it, you just want to be in alignment. You just want to feel like you're in alignment, and you want to feel like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that, my friends, is an extremely attainable thing. Because we're sort of taught that that exists outside of us all the time. And if we're taught that it exists outside of us all the time, that keeps us chasing. And if we're chasing, then we're susceptible to all sorts of other different things. If we're chasing, we're susceptible to things that even people want to sell us. People are selling us stuff to help you feel better, feel thinner, feel faster, feel better, feel prettier, have a different partner, have a different mate, a different house. Like, we're sold all of these things. We're in that mode of chasing, chasing, chasing. And chasing and achieving, I don't think really feel the same. I just don't. Because I think that there's that chasing feeling is when, because there's the satisfaction when you get something that you've been working really hard for and that feels good. And it feels like satisfaction and appreciation. And you're like, yes, this is exactly right. That's where I need to be. Worked my ass off. I earned it. I look hot in this bikini. I'm killing it. That is a feeling of working hard and getting satisfaction. Chasing is where you look really hot in that bikini and you're like, yeah. And then immediately, like, you don't even have a split second of that. Immediately you start going, okay, well, I look really hot, but it could be like a size 2 instead of a size 4. Or like, I don't really have, like, my abs aren't defined the way that I like want. That's the chasing feeling. When you're not like sitting around looking at your fancy new office from your promotion you worked your ass off for. You're not looking around being like, hell yeah, I crushed it. You're looking around going, so-and-so's office is bigger than mine. And also, like, if this happened now, then that means such and such amount of time later, like, I should be, whatever, whatever. That's that chasing. And that's that energy that will keep you out of alignment for your entire life, because what you're basically telling yourself is when you're chasing, when you're not chased, the basically, like, one of the most American things I can think of, that being like that chasing panicked feeling that I know a bunch of you, anyone that's I think attended any university is very familiar with, that like hurry, 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 chase, chase, chase feeling. That feeling is telling yourself every single day that alignment is away from you, that alignment is away from you and will be away from you and will continue to be away from you. And I don't think that has to be true. I think it can be true. Anything we tell ourselves can be true. We're all experiencing a projection of what we believe to be true. So if you want that to be true, then it already is. I'm saying I don't think it has to be, and I think that we can change it. I think we can shift it. I think we can move it. And it's true. It's just the truth. Because if you stay in chasing mode, people can get you to do what they want. Businesses can get you to buy things. People can get you to, you're completely at the mercy of every other thing outside of yourself. You're not connected to a divine anything. You're not using your own discretion, alignment. You're just like, well, I better play by the rules. I better follow the game. I better do what I'm supposed to do what they want me to do, and maybe I'll have this thing. I'll keep buying those things, doing this thing, and whatever. And it just reminds me so much. It keeps like playing, which is so annoying because I'm trying to just like say it and then be done. But I might as well just accept that, like, every video that I do will have as many pop culture, movie, TV, whatever references as it's going to have, and just let it go. Because it's like playing in the back of my head while I'm trying to talk. And like, I have ADHD, so I already have all of the browser screens open in my brain to begin with. So this is just like, and it like gets louder and louder and louder and louder. So I just got to say it. But it reminds me of a part of Mad Men where I think it's one of the early seasons, and I can't remember it again exactly. I can't remember it exactly, but it's when Don Draper is talking to some chick. It might be Peggy, it might be someone else, but where he's going, that thing that you think is love, what you think is love, was invented by guys like me to sell nylons. Period. He's like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, he's basically like, you're getting sold this bill of goods. We prey on your feelings. We prey on that feeling of connection that you want desperately, to sell you nylons. It's like this romanticized, crazy ideal is just to make sure that you keep doing what people want. He's like, I get paid to do that. I'm good at it. And that's the truth. You're at the mercy of other things. It's not a bad thing. This whole world is just like a game. It doesn't make people who sell things evil, and it doesn't make nylons the devil. Like, none of that at all. All of it is a game. All of it is practice and alignment. And again, I still think, like, I believe in participating in all of that stuff, but it's about the feeling it gives you. I have put on stockings and tights before when you like pick out the perfect one. It goes perfectly with your outfit and you feel beautiful. It feels nice, that feeling of satisfaction. But if you're buying it from a different place, moving from a different place, it gives you a different feeling that you're still not good enough, that you're still chasing, that alignment's still outside of you. That's not what we're trying to do. So cheers to alignment. Cheers to some more videos. I hope you guys are having an amazing day. Check out my link below if you are interested in an Unstuck Sesh. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.